Welcome everybody to Sin City Living. My name is Jason and I'll be bringing you today's episode. As always, please hit those like and subscribe buttons. We have a ton of content for you guys coming out every single week, every single day generally. Occasionally miss a day like I did during the rodeo that is still ongoing right now. And I hope all of our patrons out there are appreciating the patron-only exclusive videos we're putting out with the dice class, putting one out every couple of weeks. And if you're curious about that, go ahead and check the description down below. Once I get this whole live stream thing figured out, I'm probably going to do a live stream on the patron site as well. One on the regular site, one on the patron site. I do have the new computer for it. Theoretically, I have everything ready. I'm just so busy currently with this rodeo. And one of our fans asked a question a little while back about ways to tip us, to show appreciation to us without having to sign up as one of our patrons. And at the time we did not have any way of doing it, but I have managed now to get us signed up with a site called Buy Me a Coffee. As I'm sure some of you guys have noticed from some of our videos, Louie and I are both pretty heavy coffee drinkers. So if you're curious about that as well, go ahead and check down below in the description as well. We would definitely appreciate any cups of coffee you're willing to pick up for us. And don't forget to email us with any strategies, questions, suggestions, anything at all. We love shooting those videos for you guys. I actually haven't gotten a new email in about 2 weeks. And also, don't forget, anybody that may be interested in one of the small Sin City Living neons that we have, just email us that as well, sincitylivingLV@gmail.com. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and get into today's episode. And today I want to go over an interesting strategy that I've come across. I've seen a player play this one on a very consistent basis. It's got an interesting mentality behind it. I can see where it could be a fun game to play. So what this player does is, when there is no point, while the point is off, they're going to direct lay either the 4 or the 10. They only direct lay one of them. And they do it for $50. So the player will throw in $50 and a $1 commission, because this direct lay, they'll say no 10. We'll say no 10. This would pay $25 if a 7 were to roll. So $1 commission on $25. Now they're going to wait for the come out roll. If a 7 were to roll, a winner 7, they're going to throw in $1 because they want to stay up. And they're going to receive their $25. They throw in $1. We keep them up. They're keeping this up until they hit a point. So the player will roll, and as long as it's not a 10 where they lose this direct lay, say they end up on, an 8. Okay? Or a 9. We'll say a 9 because this makes this first part really easy. So they comes out to a 9. The player says, take me down. So they're going to receive their commission back. They receive 51. They say, take me down and give me 51 inside. Now they have the inside bet, and now they're going to play it kind of standard. They may take same bet as these get paid. They may press 1 unit. They may press fully. If it were me, if the 8 were to hit, I would press it straight up to 30. Same with the 6, straight up to 30. 5, I would press it straight up to a quarter. Outside of that, I might same bet it once or twice, because this is definitely more of a conservative hedge, quote unquote, type of play strategy, where they're hoping for the winner 7s. They get paid $25 each time. Otherwise, they're hoping that they get some inside numbers that roll a few times. So again, if it were me, if the 8 were to roll, I would tell them to take me to 25 or to 30, and I would collect. And I would do the same thing with the 6, and I would do the same thing with the 5. Now, if any of these hit, at this point, I'm going to start adding in some other numbers. We'll say the 10, because anything here pays 35. And we'll say the 4. Now, at this point, same bet, or maybe I start doing my mid-press method that I've gone over in other videos, or even the power press method. Depends on where I want to go with this. And yes, this strategy can definitely put a hurting on you, especially if you get the, say, a point of 9, you say, take me down, put me 51 inside, and boom, 7 out. Yeah, that hurts. Or maybe a 10 rolls and that's 7 out. It can certainly hurt. Now, what if it's not a 9? If the 10 were to roll, and this player typically plays on a $10 table. If the 10 were to roll, well, their no 10 just came down. Sometimes they sit and they watch. Other times they go ahead and throw in more money and do their inside bets. What if a 4 rolls? So if the 4 rolls, player says, take me down and give me 44 inside. So they're going to receive 7 change because they have $51. They receive 7 change and they get 44 inside. And same thing. Now they play however they choose to play it. As numbers hit, press me 1 unit, or press the 6 and 8 1 unit each, press the 5 and 9 1 unit each, or press 1 unit, press 2 units. However you want to choose, however you choose to play it, how aggressive you want to be. As we know from watching these other videos, I am super aggressive. Although depending on my bankroll, I also might play it kind of in the middle. And depending on what I'm doing. Maybe I'm just at the casino hanging out for 4 or 5 hours waiting for something else. In which case, I want to play for that 4 or 5 hours. I might play a little bit more conservative. It's all going to depend on what you want to do. So let's go back to the 50 no 10. And the come out roll. What if a 6 rolls? Now they say take me down, take my lay down, and give me 48 inside. They get 3 change. And we set up their bets. Now, I'll be honest with you. Right at first, the first few times you play this method, the dealer's going to look at you as a little bit of a strokey bet type of player. The reason for that is because you're going to be coming up on a no 10, then you're going to be coming down on a no 10, and then going across, and you're making the dealer do a lot of movements in a very short amount of time. As you bring up a bet, you bring down a bet, you bring up other bets. But if you play it on a consistent basis, the dealers start realizing what you're doing, and it becomes a lot easier. And it's really not, as long as you're consistent on this, it's really not that much of a stroke type bet. Right at first, again, it is, because we don't get a lot of direct lays, which means that we're going to take your direct lay, take your commission, then we're going to have to go hunt down a lay button, because we usually don't keep them directly next to us because it's not a common thing. So we have to get the box, it gets us the lay button, set up the lay, and then we're thinking, okay, this is direct lays are pretty easy, just waiting on that number to roll, or 7, and then as soon as a point comes out, take me down. Now the dealer's like, are you freaking kidding me? And take me inside. Use the bet, take me inside. Okay, cool. This I won't say it makes a huge amount of sense, but it's not horrible, and this could be a fun way of playing. And as long as you play it consistently every single time, the dealer gets used to your bet, they understand it, it gets faster, it gets smoother, they'll even start helping you out with it. For instance, when I have this player, and they have their lay, and we get a number rolled, right? Let's say 5 rolls, we get a 5 to roll, I will immediately take their bet to the box and start setting them up, because I know what their bet is. They don't have to say anything to me. I just immediately start doing it. Of course, I'm going to look at them as I'm doing it, make sure they nod while I'm doing it. You don't want to play their money for them, but I'm going to help them out because I know, and it's going to make it easier for me as well. It'll smooth me out as I just start going. Okay. The other spot that's likely going to throw dealers off, not because it's difficult, but simply because this isn't a bet that happens a lot, is you've got your $50 lay, a 6 rolls, and you say, take me down, give me 48 inside, or take me down, give me inside. Because this doesn't happen a whole lot, some dealers are going to pause for a second. They're going to buffer. You're going to see a little hourglass in front of their face spinning over and over and over again while they're thinking. Once they've done it once or twice, or if they've had this before, or they're just an experienced dealer, they're most likely just going to instantly give you 3 change, not even worry about the rest, and start setting you up. If it's 51 inside, it's even easier because it's the entire bet. Now, if we end up, let's say a 4, now it's either 44 inside if you want to do 2 units, because 48 and 51 inside, depending on where the point was, it's actually a 3-unit bet. If you say take me down and give me 44 inside, you're going to get 7 change, and now it's a 2-unit bet. What if you're at a $15 table? Well, at that point now you're going to have to throw in $15 extra, I'm sorry, because you're $51, you want 66 inside. Another possible variation of this that I have seen. If it's one of the inside numbers that rolls, the player takes their lay down and does either 51 or 48 inside, okay, depending. But if it's a 4 or a 10, what they do instead is they go to an iron cross. They say, give me 5, 6, 8, 51 action. And now they'll start playing a $10 field bet. Because if you have a $3, if you have a 3-unit iron cross bet, you want to do a 2-unit field bet. So that's also another variation of it. I've seen this player play this a couple of times that way. So it's a variation, and it's an interesting variation when you add in the iron cross, because now you're kind of blending 2 different betting strategies and 2 different styles together. Is this a great strategy? It's not a bad strategy. I've seen way worse, trust me on that one. At least there's some thought behind this. Their thinking is they want to win on the winner 7s that occur on a come out roll. And then they want to play some numbers and try and press and win the big money if it happens to be a hot table. The thinking is they're trying to combine. They're trying to hedge. If it's a cold table, you're probably going to see a lot of, they think they're going to see a lot of 7s on the come out roll. So they're going to win 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, or 24 technically, since they're paying the commission. And if it's a hot table, their thinking is that they'll be able to get their inside bet and go from there and make a whole bunch of money. So it's got some thought behind it. Unlike a lot of strategies, this actually has a little bit of rational, logical thought behind it. It doesn't make it an unbeatable strategy, because there is no such thing. This strategy, as far as how much sense it makes in likelihood, depends on how you play your place bets once you have them. Do you do your mid press method? Do you do your power press method? Do you do the iron cross method? Do you do the iron cross method combined with, say, a mid press method? As we showed in the iron cross, it tends to work out best in the long run on a hot roll if you increase these iron cross bets and then eventually go across and get all of the numbers. Or do you just sit there and same bet, same bet, same bet, same bet? If that's your strategy, it's a pretty poor strategy. You want to start pressing here and there, and especially with this strategy. But it's not a horrible strategy, like I said. It's got some thought behind it, and is absolutely no worse than the mid press method, the power press method, the iron cross, and some of the other strategies that at least make a little bit of rational sense here and there. And that covers this particular strategy. It's a pretty basic strategy. It can be a lot of fun to play. And we will catch you next time. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons for our weekly content. We will see you soon. So, as I promised, I wanted to go over very briefly our upcoming attempts at a third test live stream. So what's happened so far? The first test live stream just flat didn't work. The problem that I had was was an equipment problem. I had an equipment problem in that the equipment that I was using to translate the camera into streamable video to the computer required a better USB port than the computer I was using at the time. So that one just flat failed because it would not translate into the computer. The computer would not pick it up, would not read it, so I wasn't able to live stream it. So then, as I was looking through, because I'm a little bit of a tech head, as I was looking through all of my other stuff, because I do have 4 laptops here and 3 computers, I did find one that actually did have the newer style USB port. Unfortunately, it was actually my oldest laptop, but I figured, what the heck, let me give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen? And this time around, when I fired everything up, the video was actually translating onto the computer, so things were looking better. But then when I attempted to live stream, the computer was not powerful enough to be able to translate it and then upload it sufficiently. So it basically just uploaded a blank screen for the live stream. So what I am going to have to do is, and I'm already looking into all of my options, I'm going to upgrade my computer so I can add, what, a 7th, 8th computer to my household. And I'm going to go much, much higher, and I'm going to get a computer that is far more than I need for this, far, far, far more powerful than I need for this. That way any future upgrades that I may do, the computer will be able to handle it. So unfortunately this computer is going to cost me about 25% more, about 25% of what I've already laid out in all the equipment for this channel. So it wasn't something I could just instantly buy. I'm probably looking at Black Friday or Cyber Monday. So hopefully I have it within the next couple of weeks, and then I'll do another test live stream and see if I can go from there. So I will definitely do at least one weekly live stream on our Patreon because they're the ones that are really helping us get this computer. And the other equipment that I'm going to get, because I figure if I'm buying the computer, I might as well buy the most high-end capture cards and things along those lines, get everything as good as possible, and then hopefully eventually get a better microphone for you guys. So yeah, that's where we stand on the live stream. As soon as I have the computer and I do the test, which will be in a few weeks, like I said, I've got to order it in a week or two, then I have to wait for it to ship. Plus we have probably the biggest event of the year coming up, the NFR National Finals Rodeo. So I'm basically working 2 weeks straight, as is my wife. So not going to have a whole lot of time. But once we get all that under control, then we'll figure out. There's been some schedule changes to myself, some schedule changes to my wife, and some upcoming schedule changes to my wife as well. So hopefully we can get all the scheduling figured out so I know when I'll be able to live stream as well. My initial plan of Thursdays at 6 o'clock is already out the window. I'm at work at that point now. So we will get it all figured out, and we will let you guys know, I promise. And otherwise, I hope you guys have found this interesting, enlightening, illuminating, or at least just plain fun. And we will catch you guys next time. Bye now.